Hey guys, it's your girl Jay from Jay's Tarot. So I just wanted to get on here today because I know I do like celebrity and stuff, alleged readings or whatever. And so it's one thing when you get on here and you talk about other people, but it's another thing when you get on here and you talk about yourself. So I just want to do something new. I have not seen this around YouTube before, so if somebody else do it, they probably biting from me, okay? So I just want to come on here and do a tarot story time about my own self and just see, like, what the energies were, what the other person was thinking, all that good stuff, right? So if I'm going to shade other people, I can shade myself as well. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about my first quarantine date with my boyfriend. So a year and a half ago, what is this, 2021 is March, so 2019, like November, December, I met my boyfriend. We swiped right, but at that time it did not go anywhere because I had stuff going on and he had stuff going on. So we conversated. He was pretty cool at first. He seemed pretty even, pretty nice, decent, guy. I'm from the South. He from the South. And so I like that about him. He was really hardworking person, right? And conversation was funny at first, but then in January of 2020, I ended up like having weight loss surgery. I ended up getting sick. I think I had COVID back then. People, it was new, but I really think I had COVID because I was like really, really sick. In February of 2020, my little sister died, and so I had to go home for that. And so at that point, I was worried about myself, getting myself together. Apparently in his life, he had things going on as well, so the both of us just kind of stopped talking, and it was no hard feelings, no harm, no foul. I come back from my sister's funeral, and my coworker was like, "You need to get on Plenty of Fish." And I'm like, hell no, I'm done. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody, especially these crazy ass people on POF. So if you ain't never been on Plenty of Fish, don't start now. I'm just kidding. And so my coworkers taught me to get back on it. The funny part is that when I tried to get back on it at first, I guess because I kept deleting the profile, I don't know, Plenty of Fish like refused to let me sign up for a while. Oh, okay, we'll take it. Plenty of Fish refused to let me sign up for a while, and so when I finally was able to sign up, I immediately got bored again because I live in a small town and it's the same old clowns, right? It is a military base here, so you'll get, the new military little freaky deeks, but pretty much the same old thing. So one day I got a message from him, and he was like, "Hey man, how you been doing?" And I was like, "Oh, this is the dude I used to talk to." So we started back talking, and he was not like he was the first time. The first time he was a little boring the first. I ain't gonna lie, he was a little boring. What was the eagle just flew in my backyard on a tree? How cool is that? Eagle, a bald eagle, just flew on my tree. All right, sorry. Anyway, it wasn't the same as it was the first time. This time he was more intrigued. Like, I was more interested for some reason. There was something about him this time that was different. To me, he was kind of like an asshole the second time around, so I didn't like that part about it. But it was something like he wasn't as boring this time. And I was dating multiple people, and he knew that. My boyfriend was a hoe, so I'm pretty sure he was dating multiple people too. So long story short, we started talking again. He knew I was talking to multiple people, and I didn't even care to ask him who he was talking to. I wasn't sleeping with nobody, so I didn't care. So I'm shuffling the cards, talking about this story, and the Knight of Cups pop out, and the Ten of Cups pop out. So I don't know if it's me or him, but it is love here. I'm not gonna lie, but he is my Ten of Cups. That's my sugar lump, okay? And the Knight of Cups talking about, I just said, our first quarantine date. So around the time we started back talking, COVID was up and heavy. The whole city was shut down. And so he's a Libra, and Libras are allegedly supposed to be romantic, which is probably why this popped out, right? And so I was excited to meet somebody that was like going to be romantic. He was an air sign, And he was like, "Well, I don't know what to do because it's COVID, just pick somewhere." And I was like, "Well, we can just go to Starbucks, right?" And he was like, "I don't drink coffee." So we ended up making this idea to do I was gonna cook for him. He was gonna come over, and we did like this at home quarantine date. So cool that these two came out. I do have 2 children who are not biologically his, and he does have a child that's not mine. So my kids, of course, were not here. It was being babysat by someone else, and he came over, and I cooked, and I was rushing, and I told him to be here at 6 o'clock, and he calls me at like 5:45 and was like, I'm gonna be running late. And I was like, no, 6 o'clock means 6 o'clock. So let's see. And he was like, okay, well, let me hurry up. So let's see. Why was he gonna be late? Was he nervous, or was he just being an asshole? Why was my love bug gonna be late? He wasn't using his better judgment. Ace of Wands in reverse. Upright, we talks about like intuition, knowledge. He didn't, it wasn't on purpose. It just was against his better judgment is what I'm getting. I'm also getting that, yeah, he just didn't know no better. Like, okay, she said 6, but like, it's not gonna be a big deal if I'm a few minutes later. That's kind of what I'm picking up from this. All right. So he ended up rushing to get here on time. And then by him doing that, I started rushing, and I cooked some salmon and I think rice and broccoli or something. I cooked salmon and something else. Thinking that was just going to be an easy little quick little meal, and I dressed it all up on a plate. And I ended up like overcooking the salmon, but it had like a lot of juice and butter in there. And I remember tasting it. I was like, this is not the best. And keep in mind, like, I had just had weight loss surgery that January. So this is March when we started like, this is like now, around this time, a year ago, where we actually like started like seeing each other in person. Like we started talking back on the phone again in like end of February when I came back home, when I came back here from Florida. And then March we started meeting in person. So yeah. And the salmon was overcooked, y'all. It was nasty. And I seen his face. I saw his face, y'all. And he like tried to stomach through it. Ace of Cups. This is God-given emotions. Remember, Ace talks about God-given, or whoever you believe in, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever you believe in, spirits, ancestors. I hope you guys all know that like ancestors, angels, God, like they all like coexist. But anyway, this is God-given love. Look, it's right there by her heart, full of emotion. All right, cool. So the food was nasty, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. But he like tried to stomach it, and I think it was broccoli or mixed vegetables or something. I tried to roast real quick, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it was in the freezer for a while. And so I ended up biting a piece of it. I was like, oh, this shit's nasty. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, this that weight loss surgery, I'm already full. And he like stomached and ate the salmon and rice, but he was like, oh, I don't eat vegetables. And I was like, this nigga lying, he just didn't want to eat it. Because it just did not taste good, y'all. I'm so serious. It was not the best meal. It was like one of the worst meals I ever prepared. See, the moon in reverse came out against my better judgment. Like moon, remember, represents like good and evil, intuition. This person is kind of sinking into their emotion, paying attention. But against another one, against my better judgment, against my intuition, I served him that food anyway. Ugh. And so we ended up like, I had like ordered this whole like new beading kit, because I'm always trying to do like something different creatively, and I just like don't continue doing stuff. So to decrease my stress level, I ordered these like beading kits, and I still got this whole kit in my closet, and I only used it at one time a year ago. And so we made each other jewelry. That was the first date. I served him the nasty ass food. We made each other jewelry. So I told him to look at me and think about our conversations and make a jewelry piece that reminds him of me. And I would do the same. And he did. Oh, I don't even, you know what? Where is my necklace? I can show you. Hold on 1 second. He has his bracelet like hung up. But this is the bracelet that I made him. Isn't it so cheesy? I was definitely into like African culture and learning who I was. You know, I did a lot of healing before I started back dating. This was the elephant representing like the strength, because he was very strong. I love the goldness because he is very dark. Like, he is dark, and I love the gold against his dark skin. And these kind of have like African colors or whatever. And to me, it just showed like how strong he was. And like, this is how, I don't know if you guys can see like the claps. Like, this is how new I was, like first attempt, that I was just like, I don't know what the hell I was doing. But this is what I made him. And my boyfriend is muscular, but he is not a big guy. So I could have probably made it like that big, but bam, okay. And yeah, so that's what we did. And then we talked and played games for hours, and just talked and like, he was one of those people. He would tell me like, he's been married. So I asked him like, what happened to his marriage, why he's not in a relationship, what happened to his last relationship, da da da. And he said, I'm not talking to you about this over the phone, I'll talk to you about it in person. And sure enough, he gave me all the answers that I asked for. As it's 2 eagles now flying behind my house. How cool is that? So it was time for me to pick up my kids. The person who was watching them like text me, and so I was like, hey, do you want to ride and like pick up my kids? So Spirit, what was his thoughts when I asked him about picking up my kids, going for a ride, picking up my kids? Like, I felt like when we was talking, I felt like I knew him. I mean, I had already met him and talked to him over the phone and stuff like that, but this was my first time meeting him in like person. And this is over a span of like December, January, February, March, like a span of 4 months of us just talking on the phone, and then, you know, losing contact in and out. And I had already did like a basic background check on him too. I had already searched his basic records because that's just who I am. So Spirit, what was he thinking when I asked him to route me to pick up my kids? And he's very good with kids anyway. Like, all the kids love him, and he act like a kid anyway. Homework hard. What was he thinking when I asked him to go pick up my kids with him? Because it was getting a little later, okay? We're going to get to the juicy part, y'all. Just hold on. Let me see something. This one here just keep coming out. There was no judgment. So we got the page of wands upright. Like I said, he acts like a kid. This could be his, even though it's a girl, he acts like a kid. And like, no lie, if y'all know us in real life, you know he acts just like a big old kid. And so it's just like playtime almost. Like, oh, okay. The 9 of Pentacles upright normally represents like a single lady. He wasn't thinking like that. He was like, whatever. I know she has kids, and so that's just part of her life. It was no judgment. We got judgment in reverse. There was no judgment about me saying like, hey, you want to route me to get my kids? He really didn't care because he's like a big ass kid itself. All right, so we go get my kids, and I tell him, I say, hey, I have at that point my son was 4. So I say, hey, my son has been like, because his daddy is the devil. So I've been like, hey, where's you coming from? Heartbreak. He's afraid of heartbreak. He just didn't want it. I said my baby daddy was the devil, and that popped out. He sees the heartbreak. Yeah, I just said that my baby daddy is that's a rough situation. And so yeah, it was lots of heartbreak in that situation. But nothing like I hold on to. Like, I don't tell my son anything negative about him. Like, trust me, when I tell you it's a lot to go into that situation, it was. So yeah, a lot of heartbreak, things that I couldn't control because I was trying to look out for other people, not just only myself. It was bigger than me, trust me, y'all, okay? So I couldn't just like quite leave him. It was a lot, trust me. It was a lot of abuse and everything else. So anyway, And so my son was to the point where he was asking about getting a stepdaddy. I don't know why, this is just what my son was on. And so I told him, I said, hey, when you meet my son, he's like talking about stepdaddy, so please don't think like I told my kids about you or like anything else. If they ask you the question, you just mommy's friend. Because I have friends, I have boys and girls friends. So if you introduce your kids to someone, this is mommy's friend. Don't make it more than what it is. And so I say, just FYI, this is what happened. So lo and behold, my son get in the car and I say, hey guys, this is Mr. Such and Such. This is mommy's friend. And he say, nice to meet you, Mr. Are you my stepdaddy? No lie, just hop in the car. Nice to meet you. Are you my stepdaddy? Just like that. So I want to see. Luckily, I'd already warned him that that's what my son was on. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see, how did he feel when my son said, hi, mister, are you my stepdaddy? Are you going to be my stepdaddy? How did my boyfriend feel? How did my... Yo, I'm about to talk to him about this. He don't really get too deep into tarot, but I'm gonna have to like show this. So part of him felt like the star, like almost like, yeah, like even though this is like the first meeting of person, I'm telling y'all, this is soulmates to soulmates, right? He felt like with the sun, the star, it is almost like a little bit of happiness. Like this person was kind of content. Like this person kind of, am I gonna be your stepdaddy? Like, no, like, yeah. This person has a look of like wonder on their face, and not bad wonder, but like she also has a lasso, like she's trying to rein in the star, which is, you know, the biggest star is the sun. And we know the sun represents all this happiness and love and light and good and positive and that warm, fuzzy feeling, right? So it's like she's trying to ring that happiness in. And then we have the Seven of Wands here, which is like this person is perfectly balanced. They're centered. So it really didn't bother him. Well, let's see. It's like he was wondering, like, am I going to be? But then he kind of had to calm himself down, because right here, he's like, it's kind of like he was balancing himself. Look, this person here, Seven of Wands, they're balancing. Look at that, where the sun is, right here in the center. It's like chakra balance, right? But then right here, we got like a person like trying to ring it in, like, yeah, like a positive outlook, like, yeah, am I going to be like, this is going to be nice, I can have a family. And then this person over here is like, shit, let me run away from this. So he kind of was conflicted, like, what the hell, like, do I want to be this nigga's stepdaddy, or do I need to get the fuck away from her? Like, I don't know this little boy, I don't know this, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it was. But in the middle of these two cards, which is how they came out, in the middle, he found balance and peace and just was like, just calm down. Let's just see how this goes. Like, this person is also sitting by this big old, like, look, almost like a crystal ball. Like, the whole shape can be like a crystal ball with her sitting inside of it. But it really, you know, seeing deeper inside the soul. Like, look where that's at peace. So it's like he kind of had to calm down and just be like, whatever, we'll see what happens. I don't need to get my hopes up, and I don't need to be so scared so fast. I wish he would have just ran away. Boy, please. Let me stop, y'all. So then we go back to my house, and we play games, all of us, the kids, because like I said, I have friends that are boys and girls who've been to my house and who play cards, and my kids play games. Like, my kids play dominoes. My kids, at the time, my son was 4 and my daughter was 10. Yeah, and so at that time, both my kids would play Uno. They would beat you in Uno, dominoes, all kind of games. Like, my kids are gamers, right? And so that's exactly what happened. My kids came home. We were playing Uno, and my son beat us in Uno. My daughter was whooping her behind. The kids was beating her behind. Then my boyfriend beat me in dominoes. Like, I didn't win one game that night. They beat my ass in every single game. And then he was playing Uno with my son. He was like, I'm gonna let him win. You could tell in his mind, he wanted to let my son win. Excuse me. And I was like, no, don't let him win. We don't play them games around here. We teaching lessons. That's me. Not the ones. I stood my guard. Like, no, don't you let them kids win. You know what I'm saying? We building champions around here. Like, don't you do that. right? And he was like, whatever, I'm not letting him win. He's winning anyway. So then my son won because somebody switched his cards. My boyfriend switched up the order of his cards. So my son won. And my son was so pissed off. Like, he had this, my son's autistic, and you really wouldn't know it. Oh my God, that's another eagle. Cool. So, but you really wouldn't know it until like it's time to do certain things. Like, for the most part, he's very well functioning. You wouldn't even know. And so my son had this whole meltdown. Again, it's late now. By this point, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And he was upset because he wanted his mom to win. I want mama to win. I didn't want to win. I wanted my mom to win. Because again, I had got my ass beaten every single game. So let's see. What was he thinking when my son had that meltdown after winning in Uno? Let's see what was on his mind. I was like, oh my God, this boy's really having a breakdown. But I knew he was sleepy, so I wasn't like tripping. How was he feeling? How was my boyfriend feeling when my son had this big old meltdown? Because he won in Uno. And my son was at a point like he was trying to get him in his room, but he was still sleeping with me. He was ready to go. So we got 10 of Wands and the Fool. And it's so funny because lately my readings, they've been coming out together. A fresh new beginning and completion of a cycle. So at that moment, he felt like, all right, it's time for me to go. Again, it was like maybe 1 in the morning. So he's like, it's time for us to wrap this up for me to go. A new beginning. He's seen a new beginning happening, but he knew that it was getting late. Like, it's time to go. It's time to start a new journey. I'll see y'all later. That's how he started feeling when my son had that meltdown. Like, and I don't know if this is new beginning, like it's time for me to go home, or like new beginning as in like I see a new beginning with this family, or I want a new beginning and not know them. So let's clarify this. The Fool card. Was his new beginning like this right here? No, he was ready to go to sleep. 4 of Swords, upright. He was ready to go home and go to sleep. And that makes sense because my boyfriend be asleep early. He'll go to sleep on anybody. He was ready to go home when he started doing that crying because he was tired himself. All right. And now that I know him better, it makes sense. And so then Christian ended up falling asleep right on the couch, and which is weird because usually, like, especially if a man is around me, my son don't play those games like from the beginning. You ain't gonna just be around my mama. Like, this guy who was a friend, like, he was trying to be more than a friend, but I re-honored him into the friend zone because that was not working out. But my son never let him be like close to me. You know, my son would never fall asleep with him around. He would be in the middle of us, like, yeah. But this time my son went to sleep, so I was just surprised that, like, man, he must like your spirit, because my son is very, again, he's kind of like me. He's very intuitive. He's like an empath, and so he was like knocked out sleep with him. All right, and so then after that happened, my daughter at the time, who was 10, pre-teenish, she got her ass up, went in her room. She was like, all right, good night. She just left me right in the living room. So I'm like, you gonna leave me here by myself? Just kidding. But she was like, all right, good night. She went into the living room. And so it was, we had like, the city was closed down. You weren't not supposed to be out after like 9 or 10 o'clock p.m. unless you had like paperwork showing you was going to work. And again, this is like the heart of COVID. Everyone's like freaking out. And so I said, well, hey man, you want to just sleep over here? Because it was like, by this point, like, now it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, do you want to sleep over here? You can sleep on the couch or whatever. Or hell, my bed is huge. Okay. I was like, or whatever, so that he was ready to go. So that you could, you won't get caught on the road. And he was like, I don't care, man. I'm gonna take my chances. I'm going home. Again, 10 of Wands. He was ready to go. I'm going home, right? That's what he said too. I'll take my chances. I got paperwork because I'm a essential worker, so I'm gonna take my chance and go home. And we just kept talking. I'm no lie, we just kept talking. Yep, a message to keep going. A need to prioritize. Yeah, he was ready to go. And so somehow, I don't remember how, we ended up in my room. And we legit talked and talked and talked and talked about everything, like so much stuff, right? And then and then we're gonna wrap this up for another day. And then let me see how I can say this. He was so sweet, y'all, though. He was so sweet. And my boyfriend is not like, he's a Libra, and I thought I was gonna get somebody that was romantic. He ain't at all. Okay, so he's really, really hard and just stubborn man. Very. But at first he wasn't. He was so sweet. And then I remember we had our first kiss, and he was like laying on me. We was watching a movie. We was watching TV, laughing. Like, it was hilarious. We was having a good time. And he like looked at me and was like, "Is it okay if I give you a kiss?" And like, y'all who know me for real, y'all better not tell him I told y'all this, because y'all know how that man be acting like he just the toughest thing in the world. But he was so sweet. He was just like, "Is it okay if I give you a kiss?" Because he kept looking at me, and I was like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" Because I had already told myself, "Girl, do not fuck this man on the first night." Like, I had already gave myself that pep talk. Do not fuck this man on the first night, okay? And then when I seen like how cool he was and how easily it was to be around him, I was like, "Listen to me, sis. You know what I'm saying? Do not fuck this man on the first night." And so he said, "It's okay if I give you a kiss?" And I just started laughing. I was like, "Sure." He gave me a kiss, and it was the sweetest, cutest kiss in the world. In the world. And so what was he thinking when he asked me to give him a kiss? I thought it was so cute and sweet, and like, that is not him today. Today I can like go up to him and give him a kiss. He gonna say, "Damn, how many kisses you gonna give me today?" He's such an asshole. But what was he thinking when he kept looking at me and then asked me for a kiss? What was he thinking when he kept looking at me and then asked me for a kiss? He was ready to go on an adventure. At that point, Temperance talks about balance. At that point, he had become unbalanced, old Libra, and was ready to start a new adventure. We got Temperance in reverse, balance of good and evil, and then we have the Three of Wands upright. So he was ready for the adventure. Oh, okay. So really, did he kiss me so he can get some? Let's ask that question. Did he kiss me so that he can get some? Did he kiss me so that he can get some? Did he kiss me so that he can get some? Yes, sis. I got a Queen of Wands here, or maybe I'm a fire sign, Aries. So Queen of Wands, maybe he saw that energy and light. Like, this girl, he's like, "Yes, girl." Created energy, protection. Maybe he saw that quality in me. Oh, I just dropped a whole bunch of this right here. And the 10 of Cups. I guess he did. Yeah, that's what. Emotional happiness. Maybe that's how he saw me, as the Queen of Wands. So, and that's so sweet. I'm telling you, he can be sweet when he wanted me, but he can be an asshole. Let's see, Queen of... We're going to wrap this up because this is getting really, really long. Queen of Wands. Where are you at? It better not say nothing bad. I want to see what this... Creativity, passion, determination, confidence, joy, bold expression, helping others as you build your queendom and power. Oh, so passion. Yeah, he saw that. So yeah, that's how he was viewing me at the moment, and with the 10 of Cups. All right. And so after that happened, y'all already know what happened. I was a thought, and I fucked that man on the first night. Okay, after I had told myself not to. Okay. I didn't use my judgment and just tried to pop out, okay? He was that King of Wands. You see that? Oh, my God. Oh, King of Queen of Wands. How sweet is that? But yeah, against my judgment, I fucked this man on the first night. And it was in that King of Wands was very fiery. But that is it. We'll have to talk about the rest of that later, y'all. So I just want to share with y'all some story time with tarot and tell y'all how I was a thought and fucked on the first night. But we still together. So, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with a little thing on the first night, you know what I'm saying? But every time I get pissed off with him, or every time something going wrong, or like not necessarily with him, but in life, I think about this story because sometimes you remember your whys, and it's nice to go in the closet and he still had like all this stuff here. This is hung up on the wall, like this is something he sees every day, and so it's pretty nice to see that. So again, this is Jay's Tarot. I decided to share with you guys since I'm always talking about other people. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll have to do a part 2 what happened next. But yeah, your girl was a thought and I fucked on the first night. That's it. Bye, y'all.